It's almost like the Hunger Games in Super Rugby at the moment, in the sense that there's going to be some teams disappear. We just don't know exactly who will survive at this point. And from an Aussie rugby perspective, there's 3 clubs in the mix on the chopping block: the ACT Brumbies, the Western Force, and also the Melbourne Rebels. So they're waiting to hear whether they will be taking part any further in the Super Rugby competition next year. A man who's played for both of those, or 2 of the 3 clubs, and also the Wallabies as well as Stirling Mortlock. Sterling, is it as easy for you as allegiances being with the Brumbies and the Rebels that it's the Force for you that falls out of the mix?
Yeah, look, I can't help to feel as though I'm very skewed towards both the Brumbies. Obviously, I had 13 fantastic years there, and I finished up my career at the Rebels. So, if you asked me who would I prefer, it'd be the Force. But obviously, there's a lot more to it than just that. There's growth and future upside that they're probably looking at, as well as the current state of all the clubs as well, and how successful they are currently as well. So there's a lot going into it.
Let's just back up. And the reason they're going to do this, is there a sense that it's just too diluted at the moment?
Oh, there is a sense that that's the case.
Yeah.
And in particular, from my perspective, it's really disappointing. It's really disappointing for any of the 3 provinces that they're talking about to imagine all the players, all the coaching staff, all the fans, supporters, sponsors are effectively going to be told, you're not here next year.
Yeah.
That's really disappointing. And from my perspective, it's probably a lack of direction, a real lack of leadership on everyone involved to get us to a state whereby we've overexpanded and we haven't had a feeder system that's fed the players, the coaching staff, even referees, everyone included. We're a bit thin at the moment, and so hard decisions need to be made now. I don't know if it's going to fix it, though, to be honest.
I mean, you hit on that. Isn't that the problem? The grassroots of the sport.
Absolutely.
Where are the juniors?
Yeah, and so that's really part of my gripe, is the fact that it's been too much of a top-down approach as opposed to bottom-up. Grassroots, connecting with the kids, connecting with the supporter base, mums and dads, everyone, to get involved with school, clubs, junior rugby, club rugby, then eventually provincial rugby, then eventually they're going to support Australia as well. But unfortunately, it's probably been too much focus on Australia, and we've negated feeding that, and that's created a void of talent where we're at right now.
Is it as simple as if one of those franchises from an Aussie perspective is out of the mix, that the talent pool will be able to filter across the clubs a lot more evenly? Is it as simple as that if one's removed?
Well, that's the thing. I think that's what they perceive to be the case. The same thing is going to happen in South Africa as well. So it looks more than likely that the Kings over in South Africa, they've struggled from day dot. So they're going to have the same scenario faced as well. But from our perspective, sheer numbers. You've got five teams, 33 odd players. They're going to go. There's going to be 30 odd players to be shared around the four teams.
Well, we know the strength of the Brumbies, obviously, and around the ACT. But do you feel as though the game is being promoted and there is enough in the junior ranks in WA or in Victoria to support a team?
Yeah, and that's, to be honest, it's a lot of information I don't have at hand. So I was on the board of the Rebels for a number of years. I haven't been involved with the Rebels for probably a year and a half. I guess from my perspective, I know, having played so much time in Canberra, Canberra's a fantastic rugby community, and when the Brumbies are doing well, there's a huge swelling from all the regional area, not just Canberra, that come to support the Brumbies. However, from an upside point of view, that's always been a challenge from participation numbers, from fans. Even when we were in our heyday, when we were champions and we were in the finals for a long period of time, I think our highest crowd average was around about 21,000. So that is a challenge for the Brumbies.
Right? All right. Yep. Challenges ahead indeed.
To come in the world of Super Rugby.
All righty. Sterling, thanks so much. Scott, thank you.